Everybody was in every department. Worship team was also in welfare. You cook and then you go and prepare to sing. There's nothing like allocation of everybody was in every department. If it's time to pray, you pray. If it's time to sing, if they are not complete, somebody, you join them and sing. No, true story. I was standing and shouting on that crusade ground. The strange thing was, miracles were happening. And my sound people that I was owing 150,000, they were also there witnessing the power of God. I preached with power. I preached with grace. Where we were lodging the team, we didn't have money to give even advance. And we needed to go and greet the traditional ruler. Where is the God that can raise somebody out of a wheelchair? What does it take to touch somebody's heart to help us for God's sake? Now the crusade was over and everybody was leaving. No transport to convey the team back to Zaria. I had to negotiate with the driver and said, I promise you by the time you get to Zaria, your money will be waiting for you there. Just use your money and buy fuel on the way. Finally, after a lot of arguments, he agreed. Now, you imagine a preacher that was wearing suit 2 days before or a day before, shouting on a crusade ground. And then the next moment you are begging the person and say, the unbelieving driver is now saying, what kind of a confusing God are you serving? Yes, sir. I'm taking now time to share this with you to encourage you because we'll pray shortly. And when they left, I remember I needed recharge card then. Phones just came out. I remember I was looking, I said, God, you have to do a miracle. Where I'm going to get a recharge card to put in my phone. I can't even remember what happened. But I finally got recharge card. I pleaded, I said, how do I do this? Because I had to dismiss the whole team and stayed back. So that they don't say a man of God came, you preach and ran away. The hotel bills were there, we could not pay. 150, the sound people were angry. They said, what is this? You mean even 10,000 you cannot look for it to give us? I had to call somebody who was my teacher before and beg him. Now I'm not as a man of God. To beg the person to say, please, can I find 20,000? I can't remember how much I asked him for. Say faith. Say it again. As soon as we returned, the long story is just a miracle. Let me not bore you. But you can imagine how I came out of that situation. Then God gives an instruction and says, next year, go back again. For that same crusade, about God. My parents are alive. What is the meaning of this? Just because I chose to serve you? Wouldn't I have just gotten a job and lived a happy and a peaceful life? Go back again. And I said, all right. I escaped prison. I escaped all of these things. I was waiting for my scholarship so that I would pay the sound people. The thing was delayed. It didn't come. I didn't know how to beg them. Someone wrote a post-dated check and gave. They went back to Kaduna to cash it. It was what they call the thing, the dot check. They reversed back from Kaduna to Zaria. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. This is not a special number for me. Lie you won't tear down. Now, unknown to me, I didn't realize that through those storms, I was not obtaining things, but there was a report. There was a report. How does God give you an instruction to go back again to that same place? What of the pastors that worked with you that you could not even encourage them? You know, pastors from PFN, to say thank you for helping us, you just wave them and say, may God help you. We're all serving the Lord. And the next year you want to call them again. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I start by fearing evil, but I stare at evil, and then for a long time it doesn't come close enough to hurt me. And then I say, what was the fear after all? There are times you don't go out of the storm. There are times the fourth man is there with you, because the miracle is only appreciated in the storm. If they threw the 3 Hebrew boys and they suddenly found them outside the fire, the testimony would not be notable. It was the presence of the 4th man in the midst of the fire that caused